Good morning, y'all. I recorded a video this morning and I didn't really like it. So I'm recording again. And that's the closest y'all are gonna get to editing for a minute. But first of all, I just wanted to say, you know, thank you to the people who commented on my rant. uh, got a lot of support. Appreciate it. Didn't really do the video specifically for sympathy, mostly just to vent, right? Just to yell into the abyss. Or I guess the void. Which is the one you yell at and which is the one you stare at. But anyway, yeah, I appreciate the sympathy. Yeah. But I guess that brings up the point that I may have been a little bit too pessimistic about sort of the situation. It isn't 100% doom and gloom. Maybe like 65-75% doom and gloom. If you are a CS major or you're thinking of getting into computer science or related, right, programming, there's things you could do to help your chances, I guess the real point that I was trying to make with that rant is expectations, right? So programming in this country has been a surefire bet since the housing crash, 2008-ish, up until maybe 2022. So that's a long time. And so there's a lot of people who have sort of this perception of programming still, that it's, recession proof, or, there's computers everywhere, so they're always going to need programmers. And you may inform your decisions based on that information, which just isn't as applicable today. With that being said, I think enough time has passed where if you do go to university today and you talk to professors and advisors, they'd be a little bit more helpful than they were with me, because I started going to school seriously in 2019, which was still a good time to be a programmer, right? And so none of my professors or advisors really recognized how bad the job market was until my last quarter, right? That's when people were like, hey, let me push, let me remind you of this career fair, and let me, even if they're like, no one was there hiring programmers at the career fair, they were actively making an effort to sort of push students in the right direction, right? But in the meantime, I would go in and I would say, hey, I'm getting nothing on my resume, not a nibble. And they look at my resume and they would say, yeah, it's pretty good. You know what I mean? So they were sort of operating under this expectation that we've had, or, what was true for them when they graduated, 10 years ago or whatever, that it's really just a matter of time before you get a job. And it isn't quite the same right now. It really does seem like you're casting your resume out into the void and nothing comes back. With that being said, again, there are things you can do. And so I wanted to sort of make this video a little bit more positive, right? Now that we've set the expectations at the floor down there, what you can do. First of all, code. I don't know, every now and then I hear this saying that's repeated, that hiring managers are having a hard time finding someone who could code. These graduates, they can't write a single line of code. I don't believe it personally, but it doesn't help to code when you're applying for a job that requires programming, right? Find something you enjoy and code that, right? If you like Magic the Gathering, make a card database app, right? Just that shows multiple skills. It shows that you can make an app, like a mobile app, right? Or a web app, whatever. So you have the skills to make an app. It shows database skills, and you can work on your sort of presentation, so UI skills, right? Design skills. And it's something that you would enjoy. So that would be like an example of a project. Because that's another thing. People will tell you to quote unquote work on projects, and that means nothing to me. Because a project could be a calculator, a project could be FizzBuzz, a project can be World of Warcraft 3, right? Like, I don't know, right? So it could be literally anything, but what you need to work on is, or what I suggest is find something you care about, and you could be motivated and work towards that. It's way more interesting to have like a niche app that you could be excited about, and you can talk about, and you can talk about why you made the design decisions that you did when it's something you care about. If you can't find something you care about, join the club. It's rough, but that is definitely, that is a thing. Another thing you can do is network. And this is something that you're going to hear a lot, as you're trying to find employment, as you're going through your CS thing, right? Network. What does that mean? I think I alluded to this before. In my mind, when people said networking, it was sort of this business word that I kind of expected to go to like business settings, and I would shake people's hands and exchange business cards, and that was networking. But no, networking is more join a golf club and talk to people, right? It's more the casual stuff. It is making, and this means make friends in college. A lot of people get way too wrapped up into the academics of college that they don't understand that the primary reason they're there is to form relationships. And it can be hard. Like, I was throwing parties, I was inviting people to this and that, I was going to clubs, I was doing everything I can to really, connect. And the unfortunate truth is a lot of computer science majors just are not that great at socialization, right? Like, think of the stereotype. It is based in some truth. Like, people who get into tech, the types of people that it attracts tend to be introverted, tend to be neurodivergent, tend to just not be the business major, So it can be hard to corral kittens, that's basically just what it feels like, is herding cats, to just enjoy life. I mean, I consider myself an introvert, but if I'm having issues, getting people out of their shell, or thinking people just need to get out of their shell, then you know what I mean? um, but yeah, definitely make friends as much as you can, because that you just got to rely on nepotism, because basically if you find a group of five that you're cool with, you graduate, you still message each other, stuff like that, then it only takes one out of the five of you to get a position. And then that person can refer the four others, and it's way easier to get a job with referrals, with someone who has a job. That is networking, so don't be afraid to hang out with people. Maybe they do things that are sort of culturally different from you, or be open to new experiences while you're in college. All too often people, and I don't think it's just a CS major thing. I think it's just a trend with younger people. Like, I'm about to be 33, and so I go into school and people are much younger than me, like as young as 16 in some of my classes. And so their sort of idea on what hanging out with friends is drastically different from mine, and to a point where it's almost judgmental. And so I would definitely, you know, consider that. Get out there, make friends, network, right? Um, what else? There really isn't a whole lot. You go to school and you kind of expect businesses to reach out to you. Like, that's kind of the expectation I had. And the truth is that they do that, but not as much as you might think. And it might be better if you're, at a better school than I went to, I guess, like a higher ranking school. That's sort of the perks of going there. But you can't really depend on companies reaching out to you or being open to network with you at all, because uh, they they don't need to right now. The truth is you will go to a career fair if your life experiences are anything like mine. You go to every career fair, and you will talk to the people there, and you are just a number, right? There may be 100 CS students at that career fair, and there's only 2 internship positions. You know, and the person who gets the job is the boss's nephew. That is just the reality. Um, I'm getting pessimistic again, but network, talk to people, make friends, and have fun programming, you know, and it gets hard, right? Like, I'm definitely not above saying that it's hard, because as someone who tries to connect with people online who are in a similar situation, or if I just like complain about the whole do personal projects, which is to me in essence working for free in order to impress someone eventually, it gets hard, because when you graduate, you might go to a situation that is less than ideal. Not everyone graduates and then moves back into their parents' house and their room is exactly the same. I left it just the way you left it, and then their mom makes some dino nuggies every day. Not everyone returns to that situation where they could just code, right? Where they could just have the time and the resources. Doing leak code when you don't have an income and you have a mortgage takes its toll on you mentally. So it is not easy. And when you send out your resume and you're getting conflicting ideas, like I said, send it to a restaurant and then I go to an interview and they say, wow, amazing, CS, crazy, you're gonna get a massive job at Google. But then I send my resume to Google and they ghost me. Literally everyone ghosts you. Um, it it takes a toll on you mentally, and it does suck when the only advice is just keep coding, and it's like I can't, like I can't. I'm not in a position to do that. So I definitely understand if people feel that way, and kind of that's kind of the point of my rant is you need to consider that possibility, right? Because that wasn't really a thing when I decided to do this major, but it became a thing by the time I got out. And so I couldn't switch things up, you know? Like I don't have yeah. That is why I feel it's important to address the shortcomings because there's such a difference between how your average Joes view programming still and the reality that recent grads are facing. Because it's a relatively new thing. Like, again, 2022. And basically, if you graduate in 2022, the job market wasn't bad, but like, you didn't really know how bad it was until maybe 2023, right? Like, I remember 2023, and then someone graduated that I knew before, and they were like, "Yeah, it's been a year, nothing." Um, so yeah, um, I think I'm rambling, so I think we're gonna cut it. Uh, it's been fun. Again, thank you for the comments. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of again just I really just expected to talk into the void. Um, so I do appreciate the the sympathy, the support. It does mean a lot to me. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Maybe rant about something else later.